Good evening. Welcome to my What in the World is Steffi Girl Watching, and this is going to be my recap spoilers of Paradise. Yes, the Paradise finale went down on Monday night, and I said I was going to give everybody, excuse me, a chance to see it. And now I'm ready to talk. I actually have it on in the background with the caption, so I won't get too far off. This was the finale. It is coming back for a season three, and let's go ahead and get into it. The episode starts off with Dylan being in class, and he's listening to a professor, and the guy keeps saying theoretically this, theoretically that. So Dylan interrupts, and just like we keep talking about theoretically, won't we just build it? And the guy's thinking it's crazy until Dylan say, "Well, I built something." And he built a quantum computer with LPC codes, and it's technically the first AI. Yes, that's what Dylan came with. And the professor stops class, and him and Dylan go to his house, and he talks to his wife. Her name is Alex, hence the name that he named this quantum computer, Alex. So that's why Sinatra is "Hi, Alex." They work on Dylan is over to the house all the time, which the instructor told his wife, hey, he's going to be here a lot. They're doing all this, and finally, the professor, instructor, whatever, meets with Sinatra, and he was like, what kind of seed money for this? If he decides to be on board with what they want. And she essentially handed him a blank check. Well, everything is going, they're doing everything, and all of a sudden, Lex begins trying to manipulate time. The professor warned Sinatra about. He warned it and was like, it's too fast, it's too much. A problem that probably couldn't have been solved. I don't know how long was solved in 10 minutes, and they didn't ask the computer. They didn't ask Alex to solve it. And all Sinatra wanted was faster. I need a faster computer, and she was trying to combat whatever climate ish was going on down there. So you go back to Sinatra actually being with Alex. She says, "Hi, Alex." She told Dr. Chase that she saw Dylan. He didn't seem surprised, but he also told her that Alex has been trying to communicate with them, and that she's doing predictions and they've been true. All the weather stuff, all the apocalyptic stuff that happened, Alex predicted all of it. And it's true. He gave Alex some cards, and he told her that that was going to be her last visit to see her, because by the end of the day, she was going to be dead. That's what Alex predicted. So at that point, I think Samantha Sinatra, whichever you want to call her, that she knew what her fate was going to be. Xavier's dreaming, and he is seeing Link pass him in his dreams. So all of a sudden, the train comes to a grinding stop, and they get to a staging area, and he was saying they need to get to the kids before all of this goes left. Him and Terry need to get to the kids. So the woman that was over the group that they were with, she's gonna keep Bean and the baby. So him and Terry get ready to try to find the kids. this group has tanks, so they ready to do it. Dr. Gabriella is sitting, and everybody keeps saying that when you look in the bathroom, you can't see Jane. I didn't see that, but people are saying Jane is no longer in the bathroom, and that's been quite a few of my YouTube folks that I follow that said that she's not in there. So it's like, oh my gosh! But the power goes out, and Dr. Gabriella gets a emergency text about the reactors. So there's that. Sinatra is actually on her way back. Presley is trying to call her brother James, but it starts breaking up really bad because you got to remember Presley and Hadley is where in the elevator, and they start to panic. Link and his crew is right outside the bunker, and they begin shooting out the cameras, which just freaking out the folks on the inside. After Gabriella was like, "What are my options?" and they were saying Exodus or to go ahead and open the doors. And she said to open the doors, no Exodus. One guy's like, "You are talking about at least 10,000 people trying to come in here." And she was like, "Do you have anything better?" And one guy was like, "Well, you don't even have the authority." And she said, "Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Since the doctor is not here, she's going to do this." So the doors open. Link and the crew began to move in. That's what they was waiting on to see which way was it going to be. And his crew is kind of suspect. It was like, we don't know what they are up to. Xavier and Terry, once again, their priority is to get to the kids. So when they get on the inside, it's almost like pandemonium, people running everything, and they're trying to find their kids. In fact, they're shouting um, their names. It was a blast that happened over by the cooling towers, and at that point, Dr. Gabriella called Exodus. And when she did that, that's the mandatory evacuation. It started flashing up in the on signs, reaction, emergency. That means right then, right now, even outside the church. And come to find out, imminent meltdown was on the horizon. Xavier's son gets out of the house because he's hearing all these sirens and people running by, and he's by himself. He's just looking around. He doesn't know where to go, what to do. Robinson and Jeremy survive the blast, but it killed the one guy. I think it was Dr. Ames. Sinatra and comes in, and Gabriella tells her that she called Exodus, and she also tells her very willy nilly, like I'm talking right now, I killed Jane. She was going to kill me first, so I killed her. Sinatra didn't even blink. She said everything's going to be okay. She told her to please go. And it cuts to Xavier and Terry has made it to the house. So Terry's having a moment. You got to realize 3 or 4 years you have not walked in your home. You see the growth marks of where the kids have grown. So Xavier calling out the kids' name. They're not there. Um, Sinatra called and told the doctor he's safe. He's about 100 miles away, but she needs him to put Alex on an island. And she told him also to protect Alex. Terry saw James, and you know what they always say, a child doesn't forget his mother's voice. She screamed his name, and he heard her. And the first thing he said was mom, so he saw him. So they had a very quick reunion. Xavier wanted to know where was his sister. He said that she was in the elevator, and he kind of gave him the vicinity. So Xavier leaves to go get her. The tanks are in. Link wants to find Alex. Xavier makes his way in with Sinatra, and she tells him how good it is to see her. Now, you gotta remember, they last meeting, I think he had a gun on her. He told her this ain't no F&T party, that he needs to find his daughter. And then when Sinatra pulled up everything, she noticed that his daughter was with her daughter, who was Hadley. It's pandemonium in the streets. The bells are going off. and Dr. Gabriella is almost hit by something falling from the sky. It looked like it could have been a possible reactor, but she almost got it. Sinatra is talking to Xavier and she's telling him that she's glad he's alive. She tells him that she sees her son and he's just looking at her real weird. Robinson is hurt. She told Jeremy to go on. He doesn't want to leave her, and she had to pretty much pull a gun and tell him that she loved his dad and his dad loved him, and she doesn't want him to die down there with her. Link and the crew make it to the area with the reactors. The girls are screaming, trying to get out of the elevator. Link and the crew is trying to stop the reactors from blowing. And right when one of the guys said, I think I bought us 10 minutes, a blast happens under there and the guy died. Xavier and Sinatra hit a girl screaming and they're trying to get them out. Robinson is there. She's hurt really bad and she's thinking that she's going to die. Jeremy returns with help. The guys linking the crew actually run up on Xavier and Sinatra, and they help them, so they get the girls out. And Xavier's in there, and you could tell that the elevator is going to crash, and he got up there, which Link had to help pull him up in the nick of time, or he could have been killed. So when they were telling everybody to get to the trucks, they had a quick reunion. Link hung behind and had Sinatra at gunpoint, and once again he asked her the age-old question, "Where is Alex?" And she didn't answer him, but she told him, "I'm your mom." And Xavier recognized him from his dream where he was getting ready to kill her, and Xavier stepped in front of him and told him to stop. And something happened when they were that close to each other. Link was about to pass out, and he asked Xavier what's happening. And he was like he didn't know, but he did tell him that he knew Annie, and he handed him a card, and he told her what happened to Annie, and then told him that he had a daughter and that he had the baby there. He could take him to her. Xavier and Sinatra make it to one place. They're going somewhere, and Sinatra gets on the inside, and she locks the door because she said one person has to stay behind and go down with the ship. And she told Xavier um, that she was going to because he said, "What are you doing?" And she said that she was gonna stay behind. So I think she told him good luck or something like that, and he knew it. And all of a sudden, Xavier took off running. To me, he was running like Forrest Gump. He was trying to get out of there before everything went left. You heard a loud. Hallie and her dad was reunited. He was like, "Where's mom?" And Hallie just looked back over to the bunker. Sinatra is walking around. The sky is literally falling. The reactors are falling. She's walking around. Vincent uh, gets out. Uh, Sinatra stands in front of a store, and she has a young Dylan by his hand, looking at this horse in the window. And all of a sudden, the mountain starts to crumble. There's an explosion that night at camp because the people witnessed all of this. Terry is sitting around the campfire with the kids and Bean. Xavier just walks up. "Dad," they see him. Jeremy came up, so Presley runs to him and they kissed and kept kissing. And Xavier's still in dad mode, was like, "All right, that's enough." So her and Jeremy walk off. The mom is looking like, "Oh, okay." All of a sudden, Xavier is sitting there. Dr. Gabriella walks up. I heard you were back. And they share a look. Terry walks up. Xavier like, oh, this is my therapist, Dr. Tarabi. And Terry's kind of looking because it was, I'm quite sure the way it looked to me, like you could feel the awkwardness because Doc is looking like, oh, she's alive. And Xavier makes a quick exit. He wanted to go over to Lincoln, talk to him and the baby. So Xavier talked to him, and he asked, Link asked him, did she have a name? He said, no, I just been calling her Annie's baby. So he went ahead and decided to name her Annie. He's beaming, and all of a sudden you hear Another Day in Paradise start. And I like their twist on songs. Xavier goes back, and you did not see it until now that apparently him and Sinatra had a conversation, and he was the user X that was on that card. It hit Sinatra when Link asked Presley, what's your dad's name? And she said Xavier, but people call him X. And when he called out to him, he said both. And Sinatra looked, but she gave him that card. She tells him that there's another bunker about 100 miles away, actually, under the Denver airport, and he has to get there and stop this. And he said, what makes you think I'm going to do any of this? And she told him, go save the world. There's a second computer there, and they show it's going to be under a blue horse. So that's how the episode ended. What I would like to say, and I think it's Fogelman, the writer, who also wrote This Is Us. I caught myself being just as emotionally invested in Paradise as I was in This Is Us. And to be honest, I can see some things in Xavier. I almost slipped up and called him Randall a couple times because to me he's always going to be Randall. But I could see parallels. That run to me was, yeah, Randall. So I did a little bit of that. Superb writing, great acting, and I love to hear other takes and other spins. Somebody was saying Link is so good looking that is if his girl, if his girl was to look in his eyes, he know that she'll be gone. And I was like, yep, because that's what I was thinking. Like, ooh, don't look at me, because it's gonna be bye bye, I'm going. It's gonna be interesting to see in season 3 and how that's gonna end. It's gonna be sad. It's gonna be bittersweet to see it go. But this is a great show. I would advise anybody to check it out. You got plenty of time to get caught up. Love the podcast with Sterling K. And always forgive me, the wife. I always They are something different. They make me laugh. So the podcast is great. And to sit down with all the actors and talking about the characters and everything. Oh, and then season 3, if Jane is still running around, which she probably is, that's going to be a whole problem. So there's that. I will probably pick back up on Beauty and Black and finish those episodes. And the Testaments, the next thing in following The Handmaid's Tale, the Testaments come on Hulu starting next Wednesday. So I have something else to watch. That's it. That's all for What in the World is Steffi Girl Watching. My night closing is a lot shorter than my day closing. God willing, the creek don't rise. I'll see you on the other side. Keep it real. REEL.